Sup? Welcome to Old Trafford on Tap. I'm Jack here with the wonderful William. Episode 3, getting into things. Glad to be here. William, how are you?
Good, man. You?
I'm great. You're just telling me how you learned how to make spaghetti bolognese yesterday.
Yeah, monumental moment in my life. My favorite meal, I would say. Just learned how to cook it for the first time yesterday. Never cooked mince before.
Never. Okay, so it was the mince that you learned how to cook. Okay. And was it beef mince?
Steak mince.
Steak mince. Very good. And frying pan and just keep turning it till it all got brown?
I just put it in a pot, but yeah, essentially the same thing.
Put it in the pot. Grand. Any bit of salt in there or anything, or just the steak mince?
Some garlic granules that I robbed from my housemate.
And does the housemate know?
He doesn't know yet.
He doesn't. So if he's watching this, look, I apologise on William's behalf, but it was his first spag ball. So I actually
made from flesh and blood. That guy's made of soundness, so I'm sure he won't care. Man.
You sent me a picture. So you didn't have any. Was there any tomato sauce in with it?
I couldn't get chopped tomatoes, which I only learned after were the main source of juice for the meal, I guess.
So it wasn't so much spaghetti bolognese as it was pasta and mincemeat.
It looked like dog food, man, but I've always wanted to try dog food.
Fair play. Fair play.
All the time in Hollywood. What does he have? The raccoon or the rat food or something.
Who, Brad?
Yeah, it has the favorite dog food.
Great film. If anyone wants to watch it.
Rare lad, if anyone wants to watch his filmography.
What you say?
Great acting career if anyone wants to watch his filmography.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Brad Pitt. I actually got William onto him. Fantastic actor, very underrated because of his celebrity. I made that point yesterday.
It reminds me of myself in many ways.
It reminds me of myself in more ways. But anyway, I actually just saw, I was looking at our YouTube analytics, 1,200 minutes, lad, of watch time. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, let's get that up to 10,000 masses.
Let's. And 120 views I saw as well. I don't think I mentioned to you yet, there was some comment about your beard. And I replied saying that once we got to, it was complimenting it. And once we got to.
Who was that from?
I remember. What?
Was it in the comment section of something?
Yeah, it was in the comments in one of the videos. That's
great.
I replied that you were going to shave it off at 100 subscribers. So let's see what happens there.
You lied to us, so I'm all for it.
Let's see what happens there. So yeah, like, comment, and subscribe, lads, if you like the content. So today we're going to get on to, I think it'll actually be a very fun topic. Again, using Bill lineup, shout out to that side. Disappointing United 11, which will be fun. There'll be lots of contenders, as there was for the great one. Before we get into that, I saw a couple of news topics during the week about Manchester United that I'd like your opinion on, William. The first one was, I saw two stories. One that came from Ed Woodward, which made me less happy, but the first one I saw was that Harry Maguire went to the squad and asked them to alternate 30% of their wages for April to local Manchester hospitals, and everyone unanimously agreed. But I thought that was really, really cool, and kind of just added to his position as captain, I suppose, and stood to his leadership. I thought it was a cool gesture. What do you think of
that? Yeah, definitely a cool gesture. I was curious though, like, as in, did that just apply to the senior squad? Like, because some of the younger lads are on the senior squad, and I'm sure they're getting a nice weekly sum in terms of the amount of years they've spent on this planet, but they would be more affected by a 30% donation.
I don't know how it broke down. I'm sure no one was pressured into doing it, but I heard it was unanimously picked up by the squad. That's all I saw from one of the
senior. Yeah, no, it's a
good point though. Yeah. But yeah, it just made me happy about Harry Maguire, really, if it was
Can
his
you
idea.
give me some insight on so a lot of people lost their jobs at Tottenham. Is that true?
I don't know.
Hotspur.
Don't know.
I should have looked into that because I read something about they're going to lose their jobs, non-playing staff. And obviously Daniel Levy came out and made a statement, but he was going on about how this is a hard time for everyone. But obviously the Twitter masses, which are very dear to my heart, were chewing him a new asshole because he obviously makes a couple of million a year, and it's yet to be reported that he's taken a pay cut. But a lot of people at Tottenham, non-playing staff, are in danger or have already lost their jobs. So my heart goes out to them, Jack. And we're a Man United podcast, but maybe this podcast can maybe lift some Tottenham fans up during this difficult time.
Yeah, look, Tottenham are never a threat anyway, so we can be as nice at Tottenham as we want. Other story, transfer story, going on to leading on from Harry Maguire about his partner. I saw during the week, always seeing a couple of transfer stories around United, as always, but the one that came up a couple of times was...
He's selling his wife.
What you say?
He's selling his wife.
Selling whose wife?
You're on about his partner.
Partner, centre-back partner. So the story was that United... So Matty De Ligt went to Juventus, and that it was just going to be a swap deal, basically. Pogba for De Ligt. And first, when I saw this, there's two things I want to address on this. Number one, your passion for the centre midfield is probably reminiscent of my passion for... I'm a big centre back pairing guy, and that comes from a striker. Now I'm a pure attacker, but I think get your two centre backs in order and you build from there. So when I saw that originally, I kind of half fluttered a bit. I was like, that would be class. But also on the other side, I love Axel Tuanzebe and Bailly, even though Bailly is always injured. So that was my first thought on it. I don't want to get your opinion on our need for a centre back over our need for more help in midfield. I think I know which way you'll go, but I was looking for your opinion on that first. And then secondly, I saw a day later that, and it completely turned me off the idea. Mina Raiola is your man's agent as well. So that's partly the reason why the swap would work so easily. But ever since you said, you told me about Gary Neville's quote saying that United just should refuse to do business with him going forward, I completely agreed with it.
Wait, who was Raiola an agent? Say that again.
Pogba and De Ligt. He's De Ligt's agent as well.
Okay.
And that actually dropped my interest in the transfer so much. And I kind of know I've an inkling on which way you lean on that as well. But I just wanted to get your opinion firstly on our need of a centre back of De Ligt and our need of a centre back over a centre midfielder, and then just the fact that Mina, that dirty bastard, is his agent as well.
So yeah, I'm completely have no interest in De Ligt. I haven't watched the lad a lot, but he turned us down last summer, didn't he? For Juventus, is that true? I read that.
We were in for him, so yeah. I don't know if we were in for him.
So I don't want him at all because I did read that he just didn't want to come to us last season. So he's obviously had a bad season at Juventus.
I read that since as well, not bad season, but he hasn't let the world in for.
Okay, well, let him over there. Let him stay there so Jack can maybe catch corona, We'll give him another miss.
Hey.
But yeah, my centre-back rankings for United. I think Eric Bailly could... I know his fitness, and that is a problem, lad. Stephen A. Smith, Jack, what does he say?
Your most important ability is your availability.
Best ability is availability. And poor Eric, he goes missing there. But when fit, lad, I think I'd have him over Maguire and Lindelof.
You have him over Maguire? I think he goes with Maguire. Like Maguire is your baller. Maguire is your Rio, and Bailly's your Vidic.
Maguire's a bit of a glorified Richard Dunn, lad. But I like him. I love him.
I just, for the record there, I disagree with that sentiment, and that was definitely something we can pick up going forward. But go on.
But yeah, on his day and when fit, again, this is a fairy tale world, lad, because he does have serious injury problems.
Man has glass legs.
The man has, black glass. But on his day, it's Eric Boy at the top for me. Maguire, Lindelof, lad, Tunzebi, I actually do prefer to Lindelof in terms of potential. There's a mistake in Lindelof, lad, and there is a mistake in him, and I don't know if that potential mistake will ever go. So I'm never going to be high on him. People say he got better, lad. I disagreed. He made less mistakes. There was still a mistake in him. So Maguire, Boy, and Tunzebi would be my top three. Keep Lindelof instead of buying this the Ligt fella. Is that how you pronounce it, the Ligt?
Yeah.
Because we're probably, who are we going to be swapping from? Who did you say?
Pogba.
Yeah, fuck that, lad. For real, like. So yeah, absolutely not. And if he has that fat fucker as an agent too, then just absolutely not. No, Jack, my question for you is I woke up during one of these corona-infested weekdays and read the tabloids or whatever, and it was being reported that this Atletico Madrid fella, can you give me some insight on him?
Saul Niguez, is it?
Yeah, okay. Well, before you give me insight, I just want to give you my thoughts because I haven't watched the lad play, so I don't know what he's like. But the fee was 120. That's what I was reading. 120 million for him.
I saw 60 million somewhere, lad.
60 million.
Yeah.
Can you share your screen there and get this? No, I'm not being cheeky.
Yeah, I'll have to go on. You give your insight there. I'll give a look for this.
Well, it's dependent on this 120 because
okay,
changes things.
Oh, geez, the first fee I see here is 132 million pound.
Okay, so we'll say 100 million. Okay. Jack, I was told by someone during the week. It was your brother actually.
I also saw 70 million pound, lad. So we'll see. Go on anyway. Sorry to interrupt you.
We'll say 100, sure, in between 70 and 130.
Fair enough. We'll go 90. We won't give him the triple digits.
We'll go 90, 93 million, we'll say. Yeah. What's his name again? Saul what?
Niguez.
Saul Niguez, okay. Jack, I was told by your brother that he's a serious player.
My brother is someone that we both value his opinion on football.
I value my own opinion in life. I don't care what the masses think. When
you don't value Ben's opinion as when it comes to evaluating football players.
Well, actually, I don't know how many opinions he's given me on football players, but in life, I'd value Ben's opinion. Sky Sports News, I just glanced at an article. I value Ben's opinions on NFL players. On Sky Sports, I glanced at an article, Jack. Is this guy just another destroyer, or is he a guy that can turn defense into attack?
Knits it together as far as what I've seen, lad. And again, I'll be brutally honest, it's highlight videos and mostly it's listening to other people talking about him. He's a knitter more than a destroyer. Bit of everything.
A destroyer.
Yeah.
Okay, this article that I read on him, they brought up, they were giving the stats like where he's excelling, and a lot of the stats were tackles, pass interceptions, like. So he is a knitter.
I have seen that, but he's like Ander Herrera plus.
Lad, that's not butter to my ears, man.
Well, way plus. I loved Ander Herrera though, so go on.
Lad, but he's just like, is this guy way more than a guy who tries really hard?
Yes.
For 130 million, you know.
93, we agreed on 93. Well, regardless, 93 is fucking massive as well.
Okay, so this guy is a serious player who will turn defense into attack, and
he's like, do you know what he's like, lad? He's like more.
Is this a guy that if we're losing, we benefit from having him on the pitch?
My question would be, and it's hard because Barcelona's team was so amazing. What I've seen from him, and he is like, okay, so he's not as good. Like Xavi, let's not get started on Xavi.
Keep it respectful.
We will keep it respectable. So just come way down from Xavi's. He's
That's more disrespectful than the Saudis in for Maguire's wife.
Xavi That's what he is, lad. So he's not when you say defense into attack, he's a knitter. He's like the pass. So what I've seen, he's like the passer before the through ball. He'd be getting it to Bruno, I think, but he is that little bang 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 quick Spanish player.
So you're not taken aback by these figures, no? You're happy for these to be the figures associated with him.
Being brutally honest, I've heard more about him than I've seen. I hear a lot of people saying he's amazing. From people, a lot of people saying he'd be the addition. But okay, this is good actually because I heard during the week it was I can't remember what analyst it was saying, but they were talking about a situation where we keep Pogba, we have Bruno, and then the last piece is Saul. I actually don't know if he likes Niguez or Saul, but it's a pretty cool name. I don't care which way he said. And it was the three of them, and they pointed out that yes, it's an attacking midfield trio, but that they're so good. That'll be such a good trio that you can get away. Like we'll have the ball so much, which sounds gorgeous. But in my opinion, that actually worried me a bit because in my opinion, I think if you're adding a third midfielder, if you're keeping Pogba and Bruno, the third midfielder you need is more of an Ndidi or a Kante. In my eyes, that's what I'm feeling. If you want to move away from Fred or McTominay, which I'm not saying we should do either, but
that's actually there in my head. I was wondering because of that. I think Kante is just. I would love if we somehow. I know, lad, this is just fascination land, but Kante would be a player. Kante is Kante is the guy who tries hard, but also does the opposite stuff too.
Yeah.
So this guy more like a Kante than he is a guy I went to primary school with who can run for an hour.
Okay, now let's take that out of it. I know you're worried about that. He's more of I think he's more Xavi-esque than Kante-esque, and I'm not saying he's either of those in either category, but that's from what the videos I've seen, like the tackling side of it is the part which is a plus.
But Xavi wasn't really a destroyer at all. Like
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
This article on Sky Sports was on about him being a destroyer.
Yeah, and I might have it wrong, lad, but from what I've seen, it's like from what my impression of him is that he's a baller that also has the dirty side, rather than being a dirty side that also has the baller. If that makes sense.
Okay, that's fine. And I'm taking it out on you, Jack. You know, I don't want to this time next year be going on about how he's good at running. You know.
Yeah. Leads on to this question. All right, so you take the player out of it. You can assume you get a world-class player in any of these positions, all right? So what position do you get a world-class player in? Let's keep it simple. You can add one world-class player to this United team. So you got your Kane was a striker. You got Sancho be a right winger. You can add your Saul Niguez as your kind of more passing midfielder. You can add a Kante as a defensive midfielder. You can add a Ligt centre-back. These are just players I'm throwing out. You don't have to think these in your head. Or you can add a world-class left-back if you don't think Shaw or Williams are up to it. I think they're the major positions. Goalkeeper, maybe, if you want to be controversial. But yeah, so you can add one world-class player. What position do you add to this team?
Just the position, not the player.
Not the player, just the position. And then you can give me the player afterwards. Give me the position first and then the player. Or players.
Well, it's like, as in, if I can't give the player, like, the answer might change, you know? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, I'll answer your question first, because I'm complicating it. Lad, I would go... It's a good question. It's a good question based on all these players we're being linked to. I haven't seen Sancho play, lad. Like, he is the real deal, yeah?
Apparently.
Okay, we'll take the masses at face value and we'll go right midfield, right winger, being the answer to your question.
Okay.
But if I get to pick the player, and again, this isn't going to happen, like, this is just from the conversation we just had. If I could put any player into the Man United team, it would probably be Kante.
So so like next year, yeah, okay, I get you. Next year, you'd rather add, so we just assume we can only add one player. You'd rather add Kante and have James and Greenwood and sometimes Rashford playing on the right. You'd rather have that than have McTominay, Fred, Pogba, Bruno rotating and have Jadon Sancho right wing. Is that fair?
Yeah, if we're losing, like, I think can't. I think Sancho is still a player that's great that will be great when we're winning, but doesn't really help. Not to say he couldn't help because he's a winger, but I think the question mark for me with United is when we're losing, when we need a goal.
That's interesting that you're saying that, considering, like, straight away, usually the default there would be we're losing, we need an attacking player. We need a right winger to score a goal.
We have all the attack. We have, like, I know we're after Sancho. We have loads of attacking players.
Yeah,
and
I agree with you.
On the field when we're losing. Now it's still that question, and we still haven't really seen Bruno like when we're losing. And he's done great. Like, so maybe he is like a player that when we're losing, he's going to be all on the ball trying to get that goal.
We were losing against Everton. I know I brought that up before.
One game, and he scored in that game too, but we didn't win the game either.
True, but we were losing, and he did get the goal.
And he did get the goal. I didn't watch that game, so I don't know his overall influence on that game. Like, he did get the goal, that was a shot. I don't know his overall influence in that game. I didn't watch that game, and it was just one game. But yeah, he did get the goal. But wait, can I just say, in light of the conversation about this Atletico Madrid fella, even if it's 90 million, lad, I would say just ignore him and put that 90 million towards getting Harry Kane, assuming we're getting Sancho.
You're big on the Harry Kane train.
I am absolutely big on the Harry Kane train.
And then I am fascinated to know. And look, the glory days for us.
If it's 130 million for this Atletico Madrid fella, lad, if there's 130 million to spend on top of whatever we're going to spend to get this Sancho fella, I cannot believe that would go to this Atletico Madrid fella instead of Harry Kane, especially if Paul Pogba's staying.
Okay. One more scenario question, and then we'll start chugging this along.
Now we should start wearing red, boy. We look like two fucking goths.
I'm supporting Optimum Nutrition. I'm supporting the brand. So we'll say that it averages out 100 million a pop for Sancho and Saul. And we'll say, just in this scenario world, that Kane is the 200 million we've seen banded around. Do you get Kane? You're keeping Pogba in both situations. Do you get Kane or do you get the two boys?
I can't have Sancho if I get Kane.
Yes. As in, yeah, you can't.
Oof. But Pogba's staying.
Pogba's staying.
What about fitness? Are we guaranteeing fitness or not?
No, there's no guarantees.
So that would be Sancho. I'd oh, lad. Might be a heart overhead thing here.
We're romantics, lad.
Harry Kane.
Good. As in, I'm glad you gave the answer that was in your heart. And
lad, the thought, like, I have no affinity towards Tottenham. Like, everyone screams, Harry Kane! Like, everyone, go on, Harry! Lad, to fucking think that we could be screaming that for Man United makes me delighted. Go on, Harry!
My last question, moving transfer-wise, is, so you would love, everyone would love, if you did get Kane, that you'd have Sancho whipping balls into him. So if we pay 100 million for Sancho, 150 million for Kane, whatever, like, Sancho's going to be our right winger of choice. I'm just, as a man who loves French attackers playing for United, and I know, like, and also I know you'll probably push back and say, in the glory days, we'd Ronaldo, Tevez, Rooney, Berbatov, and look, rotation as part of an unbelievable team, that's fair enough, whatever. But also we have to realise that he's a cranky bastard at the best of times. You got Kane as your number one attacking option. You got Sancho out in the right wing. Is it Rashford or Martial start? Who's your first choice left winger in that situation?
Lad, I've been and look, I'll shed light on this. Jack, football is just a sport. The two of us as people were bigger than football. I think how Marcus Rashford has been conducting himself in recent days has been really admirable. I live in the UK. I see what goes on in these streets, and I think it's really good that he donated. How many meals did he donate to school children?
I don't know. You're on the streets, William. You tell me.
Yeah, we don't focus on figures on the streets. We focus on people. But yeah, so he did donate loads to in need children. And I just think he really loves United. Lad, that question is because I think Jordan, Sancho or Kane, by them coming to the club, depending on Martial's attitude, it could be the beginning of a road that starts. What's the place where the hobbits go to in Lord of the Rings to destroy the ring? What's that called?
Is it Mount Doom? I'm not a Lord of the Rings fan, lad.
Mount Doom. So Mount Doom in this scenario is Martial's exit from the club, and I would say there's a potential that Martial becomes Frodo or Sam, and they start that journey of Martial doesn't start getting the game time, and it builds up to Mount Doom where he leaves the club. Because I think just because Rashford's the English lad too, I think in that threesome Martial is the guy who loses out, and he would have to step up, which he has capability of doing because I think he's a world-class player on his day. He just is a cranky bugger. But yeah, I think Rashford is the guy on the left in that threesome.
And ideally, like having Martial who can play up front and left wing and rotate. Rashford can play left wing and up front. Obviously, Kane is just your striker, but having two world-class players in Rashford and Martial that can play both of those positions, rotation-wise, it could work out quite well.
And Sancho in that rotation too. Again, we haven't seen Fucker play like.
True, but I just don't think.
And put Rashford on the right side, and he can beat a man too. I know he can't cut in, but he can still. I'm comfortable he could produce on the right wing.
He can produce on the right wing. I agree with you. That's a fair point too. You can add that to rotation, but I don't think. I just think it's too hard to keep Martial happy at the best of times, and I don't think it'll work in a perfect world. It would, but I don't think it'll work. Do you think it would work? Could work?
Did you think Frodo was going to destroy the ring?
Again, look, there's Lord of the Rings isn't my thing. Someone dear to my heart was a fan of it, and I don't watch it.
Okay. I get what you're saying. It's definitely a possibility. Yeah, but Ollie was in the team. The 99 team had 4 strikers.
Again, and I just push back straight away saying that Martial does not have the temperament of a Sheringham or a Solskjaer.
And in this world too, Martial is young too, but his temperament might be getting better. I would say that too. It's not like he has a temper. He doesn't. Yeah. He's not. Like, this is all assumptions. Martial, since he's been at the club, the only thing about being unhappy I can remember is when his number was changed without his consent. Like, he's not a guy that says, has there ever been a story about Martial wanting to leave United?
Nothing too concrete as far as I can remember.
Yeah, like, the lad has actually got a pretty decent temperament, and I think he loves United. He likes the fans. He's just, and again, even calling him a cranky lad. There's plenty of times I don't smile for a couple of hours. Like, doesn't mean I'm fucking cranky.
Couple of days, lad. You're a cranky lad. You're going through a cranky period, but we'll get you through it.
Yeah. But yeah, like, I don't want to assume that either. Like,
yeah, true. Just because someone doesn't smile all the time, I appreciate that as well.
You just shake his head like that. Anyone who was that kind of mental, you know.
You want to move on to this disappointment 11?
Do I? There was also before, since we're on transfers, the other guy who plays. Wait, actually, let me Where's Sol Nguyen from?
Say his name again.
Sol Nguyen?
That was much better the second time.
Well,
Spanish.
yeah, no, it doesn't matter now. Who's the other guy that plays for Atletico Madrid in midfield? Tardy?
Tardy.
We were linked with him too during the week. It was on Sky Sports.
The defensive midfielder.
Yeah?
I'm thinking Beatty, but I've got. What's his name?
Tete?
I don't know who. No, I don't know who that is.
And RIP to Czech Tiote. I forgot he passed away.
Boom, boom,
I
boom,
thought he
boom.
was walking the streets with us still.
Who's the fellow I'm thinking of?
Party.
Oh, Party. Thomas Party. Yeah. What did you say?
Tete.
Tete. Tete. Yeah, no, Party. Yeah, Party. Yeah, we were linked to him last summer as well. He's more the player. He's like obviously Kante is a proven quantity in the Premier League, but he's a Kante-esque player. Like,
But Kante can turn defense into attack. Like Kante is not just a destroyer.
I know he's not, yeah, but like destroyer first and then a baller.
Okay, so you're also saying so, as you've just said, Niguez or whatever the flip he's called is much more of the attacker than the destroyer.
I don't know the player enough, but not
Is
much
he more of a Fabregas than a Kante?
Fabregas is probably he's in the middle. I would say Fabregas. I would say more Fabregas if I had to put my chips on. If I had to bet all my chips in, I'd say more Fabregas.
Where is he playing in the midfield with Bruno?
Yeah, I don't know. He'd be. I would say he probably still would be the most defensive out of him, but
You know what, man? We need to get him on the show.
we do need to get him on the show. He's welcome anytime. My Spanish is so, but I'll brush up on it.
Hey, Papi.
All right. Disappointing 11. You ready to move on to it? Anything else you want to address?
No.
Okay. Also, quick shout out. We mentioned your beard earlier. How are you maintaining it now that you can't? Shout out to Bellamy. I know he's one of your favorite barbers around there. How are you maintaining it?
Lad, actually, he needs to pay us for that kind of publicity. But yeah, we can say his name, Bellamy. I don't know if he's a football man, but world class barber, like world class. And Jack, well, actually, I don't know. Do you get this feeling like if you have a new barber, like for me, it's a terrifying experience?
I'll be honest. Since I've been in Chicago 2 months, I haven't, and now with this crisis after breaking out, I haven't been to the barber yet over here. But it is a scary experience.
Yeah, and I like to get the tight haircut, so it is especially scary for me when I don't know how a guy interprets 0 on the back and the sides. I still have PTSD, Jack, from Jihadi Wilton when I got my hair cut there by Wilton Shopping Centre. If he slit my jugular, he would have done a better job. But yeah, Bellamy, he's the only man who touches my beard. I don't even touch my own beard. So my beard is just on free fall at the moment. And I'm going to have to wait it out until Bellamy is back up and running. But I don't mind, man. I think...
would you do any maintenance? Like if it got too far up towards your eyes, would you start shaving that hair there or anything?
That I'd say that's almost a hazard, so I'd have to. But I don't think it's going that way. How does it rate me?
How is it looking?
Yeah. Like, is it messy, or do you think it's
No, as I look at it, it looks very good. But as I get particular about it, you should sharpen here a bit. It's getting there's a few stray hairs there, and also just on your. It's hard to tell on the camera. Lift up your right hand. Yeah. So just on your jaw, your right jaw there, is a tuft of hair of it. I'd wash that down maybe. No, up. It's coming out a bit here, but I think if you just wash that or maybe trim it a bit, it should be all right. And also sharpen down here, get that neck nice and clean. But in general, the hair is falling well. It looks healthy. It looks good, I would say. And I suppose that's a sign of a good barber, William. You know, you want to be able to leave him for a while and your beard still to grow the right way.
Yeah, I'm sure he's sat in his house right now smoking a joint. So shout out to Bellamy, man.
Okay. Moving on to this disappointment 11. Again, we're going to use billlineup.com. Shout out. Great little site here. If any of you ever want to pass some time, make some teams for yourselves. I share my screen. Do you want to build from the back again? Start with goalkeeper. And again, I suppose we better establish the criteria. I presume we'll just do from our time again.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to differentiate. Are we doing worst? We won't do worst. Are we doing disappointment or worst? Because it's a big difference. It's our own personal disappointment in what they could have been versus the actual shittest.
Disappointment.
You're saying disappointment?
Yes.
Okay, what they could have been. Okay, great. That's what we'll go with.
I just thought of something for next week too, just a little teaser. You can obviously decide if you want to do this, but like I could have been United 11, like players that we were linked with.
Oh, I love that idea. Yeah. I've got one player straight away in my head in midfield.
Beginning with R.
No, second name or first name? Well, leader beginning with R. My fella be
name, man.
Huh? Okay.
Who are you thinking of?
I'm thinking of
save it. But give me the first letter.
The first letter of his second name is S.
And lad, I think this is sexy when you get to say this, so tell me offline.
Yeah, no problem. All right, so let's see if this screen share will work.
Let's take that topic offline, okay?
We'll take that offline?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll catch up offline after it. Perfect. I think this is the screen we'll use. All right. Okay, so we'll start with goalkeeper, yeah?
Yeah.
And biggest disappointment goalkeeper.
I think we're going to have to be harsh here, to be honest.
Yeah, we probably will. So obviously the first two names that jump to my head straight away are, and it's going to be different. And you can obviously push back on me. It's differentiating between disappointment versus just worst in our time. But I just thought of a keeper disappointment, personal for me, that I think is going to win it. But the first two names that jumped for me were Tim Howard and Roy Carroll. And I think out of the two of them, I'd push Tim Howard just because of the keeper he was for America and that he went on to be for Everton.
Yeah, so I don't think Roy Carroll would be a fair answer because I don't think there was ever really hope for Roy Carroll to be anything.
Yeah,
I think Roy Carroll was a number 2 position.
Oh, and actually, no, I've sorry to interrupt you. I've 3 contenders here. I'll give you my 3 contenders, and then you can push back. Okay, so not push back, we can debate. So first, I got Tim Howard. Disappointment because I actually love ball players as well or something. So, and he was a brilliant keeper for America and went on to be a great keeper for Everton for years. So the quality was there. It just didn't work at United. A couple of mistakes kind of got to the head, I think. So you have Tim Howard, and then speaking of ball keepers, Fabian Barthez, right at the start of my time, but I do remember him. And I was also very fond of. I remember having a sticker book for the 2002 World Cup. Which is when I really started getting into football. And I remember having the France team there, but I also from that, I think I got access to a 98 sticker World Cup, or maybe it was just a book, but that French team and Barthez being on that, I always loved Barthez just because he was a little bit shorter, he was bald, seemed like a bit of a madman, but the man, talk about Lindelof having a mistake in him. Barthez, and again, he would 100% be my answer if I was 5 years older and saw more of him, but again, coming into the debate of timelines, he was just at the end of my career, but he was so disappointing from what he could have been that he still gets in. And then the other one I have is a bit of a left field one, but it's Lingard, the keeper. Lindegaard, sorry, not Lingard. Jesse Lindegaard. Jesse Lingard, but Lindegaard, the fellow who came in with De Gea at that time. And I remember we bought De Gea, and I think we bought Lindegaard at the same time, but for like 3 million or something.
I think Lindegaard was in the transfer window before him.
Okay, sorry, maybe he was. And I was big on. So Lindegaard came in for a while and actually played well. When De Gea was having his rough patch at the start, and I was all for. I was actually like, "Oh my god, I love this guy. He's going to take over," and he is never going to get in. It just didn't materialize. No, he didn't go on to do too much afterwards as well. So I don't know. That was probably me just going with my heart for whatever reason. I had an affinity towards him. So my three submissions or my three nominees would be Lindegaard, Tim Howard, and Fabian Barthez.
Yeah, so we won a title with Barthez. I don't think I'd classify him as a complete disappointment.
That's fair, very fair.
Well, actually, I don't think any of the keepers, to be fair. Roy Carroll was a number 2 who started playing as a number 1. So again, disappointment, I don't think is a fair word or accurate. It's probably very fair for the cunt, to be honest, some of the stuff he did. Lindegaard, lad, again, I just don't remember him with disappointment. Like, as in, I don't think that the hair.
No, yeah, it was a disappointment for me more so.
Get over yourself. Tim Howard, lad, he was really good when he started, lad. People forget that, like, as was in Everton bought him, like he went dodgy. That was the thing with him. Like, my disappointment with Tim Howard, and the reason he's my selection is when we got him, he was actually really good, lad. Like, people were like, "Holy fuck, this guy's good." Like, Tim Howard was really good when he came, and then he just fell off a cliff. Which was out of his control because he has Tourette's. And then he went to Everton, and he obviously had a great career with America. So yeah, my answer is Tim Howard because of his early success with United, even though we never won a title with him. So Tim Howard.
I think you argued that well. I will submit Tim Howard as our goalkeeper. As I'm filling this in, we'll go. Do you want to go left back or right back first? You can start talking about them.
Right back, because I know who I'm going to pick, I think, upon instant memory. There's not a lot of right backs. Am I right, Jack? There's no obvious one here?
I haven't thought about it yet. I'll start thinking about it now.
I'm just trying to get his name, but I can't remember it.
Suppose if you can't remember his name, that's a good start.
Guillermo Varela.
Yes. He was. I think was he David Moyes' first signing?
He might have been, but
or else Ferguson's last, maybe. Or something.
Came from Penarol. They had won the title a couple of times in Uruguay. We can talk about that offline, Jack, because we have some whatever. But Varela, Jack, my answer. I don't think there is a lot of right backs. I could be forgetting, but I don't remember us buying a right back and they turned into a flaming disaster. Or
speak on why he disappointed you, William. Why you expect so much from him? Or
yeah, because Penarol, I was familiar with them. I knew they'd won a couple of Uruguayan titles. So when I saw we were buying him from there, I was like, "Oh, who's this guy going to be? How is he going to turn out?" But yeah, he never really got a lot of game time. Van Gaal gave him a couple of games, I think, and then he just left. So again, like, it's a position where I don't think there was a lot of candidates, and again, he's not a guy that we expected a lot from anyway. But I don't think there's anyone else for me that I can remember.
Yeah, that's fair. The other one player that I thought of when right back came up, and it's a bit, it's a bit more unfair because he's still young and playing and could come back and be a great player. But Fosu Mensah, Timothy Fosu Mensah.
No, that's unfair. What?
I expected him to come in and challenge for the club, and he went to Crystal. I think he's
injured, boy.
But I think is he on his second loan year with Crystal Palace?
He's at the club. He's been injured.
He's back at Manchester United now.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Well, either way, been injured. He's been disappointing for me.
Yeah, I think that's extremely unfair, lad.
No, well, it's my. That's the first I thought it straight away.
That's not fair. Like,
I think it is fair because he went to Crystal Palace and he started really well, but then I think he got dropped by Crystal Palace then towards the end of the year, and
He was at Villa, or is that Tanzebi?
That's Fonzebe. He was at Villa.
Lad, that's not fair on the lad. I think you're just calling out names there. No, that's not fair.
No, I think that's my nominee.
Lad, since the start of this season, I think.
William, your best ability?
Availability, lad,
and that leads to my disappointment, like 24, I think, about 23 maybe younger. 22.
Lad,
what age is Varela?
In there, put Varela in there, snappy.
What age is Varela? We look this up.
Whenever I think of Fosu Mensah, I have positive thoughts, like as in.
Oh, Varela is 27. Positive thoughts. I have disappointing thoughts, William.
No, you don't. Do you genuinely? Fosu Mensah comes into your head and you're like, oh, what a disappointment.
Not yet. Not what a disappointment. Disappointing sentiments.
What your head before this conversation? If Fosu Mensah was brought up, what would come into your head before this conversation?
Why hasn't he got into the United team yet?
That's honestly, that's what you would have thought.
Yeah.
Well, I
swear.
The question
is the answer, not the question.
Answer, yeah. Sorry.
I actually didn't think of Varela. It wasn't in my head when it came up first. And again, I think that's a good shout by you. And definitely, it is a better shout, no doubt.
Did Van Gaal go any right back, lad? Because the whole team is going to be Van Gaal's fucking exploits there as Columbus. Did he buy any right back? No.
I'd have to look into did he buy right back. Blind is screaming in my head, but obviously he's not right back. Van Gaal right back. United purchases. Yeah, Varela is the right shout there anyway. And I
think that's kind of harsh, to be honest.
On Fosu Mensah?
No, on Varela, because from a disappointment, like I don't think we were expecting Varela to.
Well, also I get hyped up about all these players that come in. If I think I'd come across Varela, and if I come across a player in FIFA that I've interest in or go to buy, and then they come to United, like personally, then I'm like, holy fuck, they're going to be class. But look, the real life isn't FIFA, not quite yet. So I actually was quite excited for him and was disappointed. It is harsh, but we have again, there's going to be positions where it's harder to fill people. And look, we're going to love every player that comes to United comes with a clean slate for us pretty much, and I want to love him. But I think Varela is the right shout there, so I'm going to add him in. Is the screen up for you? Yeah, it is. Okay, sweet.
I'd just like to do a quick apology there to Timothy and his family. That was nonsense there on behalf of the brand. We're sorry.
Timothy, I hope you go on for great things. I wish you a speedy recovery.
He's nearly back if he's not back already, but if he is back, he's just back.
And I hope he's challenging Wan-Bissaka for years to come. Do we start right back? Why do we do that? Okay. Do you want to go left back or move across the back line?
Your choice there.
I've no preparation done for this. Do you have any preps for centre backs or left backs?
For left back, I have an answer in my head. All right.
Okay, we'll go to the left back zone. I'll let you take the lead again.
A
couple, even if you have a couple, build up to them.
Say that again.
A couple of nominees, even if they're harsh, just to build up to them.
Lad, again, I don't think I have a lot of nominees for it.
Yeah, that's fine.
I have a second nominee. For some reason, I always associate him with centre back, but he did start out as a left back for us. Heinz, just because he had that one good year. He just never really, he ended up going to Madrid. In my memory of him, he just kind of faded off, and Roy Keane knocked him out. But my actual choice for left back, you can probably go into Heinz more if you want. I was never really attracted to the cunt, to be honest. Fabio, lad, just because his brother turned out to be quite a good player for us. I think it was just in my head as well. It was just annoying that like they're twin brothers and the other fucker just couldn't be as good as him. It's just a bit of a letdown. Like, as in, Fabio is a good choice because Fabio is the letdown of the two. Like, Raphael, the shiny star. Fabio is the brother you didn't want. So I would put Fabio in at left back, and I think he's a pretty fitting candidate. I didn't hate him, lad. He was all right, but he got outdone by his brother.
Okay, I have a candidate that is screaming at me for right back, but I know we moved on from right back.
Say it, lad. I don't get. Say right
the
back.
right back candidate is, and I'll be interested to see, considering how vigorously you reacted to my last nominee, Matteo Darmian, lad for disappointment. I saw him play in, was it the World Cup or the Euros, and I thought he was unbelievable playing for Italy. And at the time, we were never linked to him. And then after that, we signed him. And I was like, holy shit, unreal. And we were struggling for right back at the time. And I loved him. And he actually was such a cool guy as well. He stayed at United, and apparently he was a really good teammate and everything. And he came in on the occasion when we needed him over the last couple of years, and did a job. But it just never caught fire for Matteo Darmian, and I was unbelievably excited for him when he came.
Who bought him in? Van Gaal or Moyes or Mourinho? Van Gaal bought him in?
Definitely wasn't Moyes. Either Van Gaal. What year was it?
He's a Mourinho.
When was he? What year?
Is he? Matteo Darmian.
So he'd definitely be my candidate for. Would have been my candidate for right back. Who signed him? 2015.
Van Gaal.
Yeah.
Yeah, lad, I'd nearly give you him. I wasn't familiar with him at all before he came. Yeah, I'd switch that, to be honest, just because he was definitely more of a name brand than Varela. So
yeah, would I make that change?
Make that change.
Then on left back, I'm 100% agree with everything you said. So yeah, I'd throw in two other candidates as well. I would throw in, and they're far less on the scale, but I just wanted to mention them. I was also really excited for Marcus Rojo. Now you could argue his primary position is left centre back. The World Cup for Argentina, he was their left back, and I love having a dog. Your man, apparently all the United players say that he's the one when they do interviews, when they do those funny interviews, and they're like, "Who's the fella you avoid in training?" All that, they all say Rojo. Like, he just breaks legs in training. He breaks legs on the pitch. And when you're playing any team sport, you need one of those on your team. The tough guy, and I love a tough guy. And he wasn't awful for us. He had a couple of good games. And he was there's being a tough guy and there's being a liability, and he teetered on that line and fell off it a couple of times. Again, if you want to put him into our centre back nominations, that's fine too. Or you might feel that he's too harsh a candidate and he's too good to be considered a disappointment. But he came with I think was he 17 million or 24 million or something like that. So had a bit of a price tag, and I thought he was a disappointment. But back to the two primary candidates. Heinze was my first player that screamed Heinze. Again, he had a bit of dog to him. I liked him. And he just fell out with the club and everything, and it fell apart. So that was disappointing. And it was right at that period as well where I have the fondest memories of United. That those AIG kits and stuff as well. I think he left right at the first year of that, maybe, or the second year. I'm not sure. But everything you said about Fabio is so true. And it's just the complex, or the dynamic around him having a twin that played on the opposite side of the pitch, and a twin that we both have a lot warmer feelings. It just accentuates our disappointment with Fabio. So before we make a decision on it, I just want to get your thoughts on Rojo.
Yeah, no, I forgot about Rojo. I'd absolutely put him in. And he is going in, now that you say it. He's definitely going in, but it depends on who we come up for the centre-backs.
I think that, look, we can go back to it. I think Fabio is a very good nomination for left back. And
I think if we can't get Rojo into centre-back, then I would definitely have him ahead of Fabio, because I hated when Rojo was in the team. I thought the man was a liability.
But also for the disappointment side, we expected big things. You expected big things as well? Or good things?
I expected big things. I just did not like when he was playing.
Okay. So I'll put pencil in Fabio for now. I won't write him in with pen.
But Rojo is going in, so Fabio can get down on his knees and start praying now that we have to put Rojo back.
So moving into centre backs. Anyone pop into your head over the last couple of minutes?
Phil Jones was the obvious one for me.
Yeah, Phil Jones is a screamer. Yeah, Phil Jones is, and I suppose it speaks to what he. It's a compliment in a way. Like, he is such disappointment.
He's not. No. I think that is harsh, because the lad is not. He's not as terrible as everyone makes him out. He's a disappointment in terms of what Ferguson said he was going to be the next.
That's what I mean. Yeah. I know we kind of use this.
Like, he is such a disappointment.
Yeah, true. We usually use that in the tone.
And a victim to the day and age of social media where everyone is a comedian.
Yeah, but I was talking. Usually, when we're talking, we say disappointment like that, so that's fair. But I was in that instance thinking of where he fell from in terms of the expectations purely, because you are right, being a decent servant and all that, and it being exaggerated, how bad he's been or whatever. I'm also going to throw in a name that you're going to. There could be fireworks here, folks.
Before you throw it in, like, think about it. Like, just don't say a name for the sake of saying.
But I'm saying names on what I've personally expected. And for me, injuries, William. Injuries are a thing.
You need to get real, lad.
It's a debate show. Eric Boy has been so disappointing, lad.
Eric Boy's not going in the team, lad.
He's not. But I'm talking. If we're talking about players, I just want.
You don't need to.
I do need to talk about him because it's been really disappointing for me, his injuries and how it's.
Injuries have been disappointing. As a player, he hasn't. He's a great player.
When he's playing and he just doesn't play enough, and that's really disappointing for me personally. Maybe it's not disappointing for you, but it's really disappointing for me personally.
I'm not putting this podcast upon clickbait, lad. I refuse to do it.
It's been, and I hope he has 2 or 3 seasons where he's only injured for a couple of weeks or whatever. I really do. He isn't getting in the team. You're right. He's too good a player, but I couldn't move on without saying he's a player centre back straight away that I thought of. That's been disappointing for me, just on a personal level.
When he's been on the pitch, has he disappointed you?
Not at all. And that's what makes it so disappointing for me when he's not on the pitch.
Disappointed. What has he done to disappoint you?
Not played.
And why is that?
Injuries.
So your disappointment is with injuries, not Eric Boy as a player. Phil Jones, lad.
Your injuries are part of your player. After starting the podcast saying your best ability is your availability.
Eric Boy has been on the pitch. Has he
your best ability is your availability. Your best ability is your availability.
When Eric Boy has been on the pitch, has he disappointed you?
Never. But he's hardly ever on the pitch. And that disappoints me. And that disappoints me. I will put I'll put Phil Jones
as the right centre back or the left centre back.
Phil Jones is going in as the right centre back, 100%.
Okay, you put him in, so.
Number 4. Any other candidates other than Rojo and Boye for the left centre back position?
Lad, let's not know. I don't want clickbait.
This isn't clickbait. This is my honest opinion.
Lad, I'd have Hines in there too, lad. Hines, Rojo. There's definitely no one else we're forgetting here.
Centre backs.
Lad, would you deem Boye as more of a disappointment than Lindelof?
Would I deem Boye as more of a disappointment than Lindelof?
Well, I think, again, like Lindelof.
Yes.
You
Yeah, Lindelof's played too much. Yeah, I would so far. Again, just because injuries.
Has Lindelof disappointed you when he's played?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Rojo or Hines would be my two choices there.
My two choices for centre back would be. Oh, I don't want to think now. I think centre back. We've had a lot of centre backs, lad. United centre backs. My two nominations. Let me look through these here if I'm forgetting anyone. Steve Bruce, never saw you, mate. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, Stam. Jeez, that's some great ones. Johnny Evans.
No, what the fuck?
Oh, I've got a candidate for centre back. Gerard Piqué, a player who came through at United, just didn't work out. I think Ferguson wanted Piqué in his book. He was saying at the time he wanted Piqué and Johnny Evans. He thought they were going to be the next our centre back partnership for the next 10 or 15 years. And Johnny went on and was a decent servant for the club. Piqué again just came in young. The physicality, I think, of the Premier League or whatever, all these cliches, it just didn't work out for him. And we didn't stick with him. We sold him back to Barcelona. And obviously, Piqué has been one of the, if you're talking about World 11s, he's been a mainstay at the centre back position or one of the contenders for fucking 5, 6, 10 years. So he'd be.
No, lad, again, I think
strong candidate for me.
If you bring up Piqué's name before we do this thing, before we do this exercise, and I'm like, bring up Gerard Piqué, the first thing you might say about him in relation to Man United is he was at United. You'd forget that. If you bring up Lindelof's name, you could actually say the sentence, lad, he's been disappointing. If I bring up Boye's name, what is the sentence you could say about Boye? I don't think you'd say he's been disappointing at all. You'd be like, lad, if he could stay fit.
You're right. Yeah.
Hines or Rojo, I think I know what you'd say about Hines or Rojo, you'd say disappointing. I do not think you'd say anything about Piqué being disappointing. He didn't play for us a lot, like.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So I don't think he's a candidate at all.
I guess we're thinking about it differently, I suppose.
Go on. Who are you going to put in there, Jack? Rojo or Heinze?
My candidate.
Can we do a coin flip like last week if I want to put a player in?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, now I have to have inner talk with myself about do I actually think. Look, the question is Lindelof a bigger disappointment than those two?
Is Lindelof,
you're
asking yourself, is
I
Lindelof?
won't, because Lindelof is still at the club. So I think that's I think it's unfair to have any player in here who's still at the club. Would you agree with that?
We've got Jones in here.
Oh shit, Jones. We can leave Jones in there because he's 100% should be in there. I am going to adapt that mindset moving forward. And I don't think it's going to happen again anyway. Unless you want to make a case for central midfield for the big P. But we can get to that. Lad, you can call this.
For centre back?
Yeah.
After thinking about it, lad, my candidate is Piqué.
Fuck off, lad. Are you serious?
Yeah.
You look back at Man United, at Piqué's Man United career as a disappointment.
Yeah.
How many games did he play for us, lad? You think he was more of a disappointment at United than Marcus Rojo?
More of a disappointment at United than Marcus Rojo.
He made 23 appearances for us.
Is your candidate Rojo over Heinze?
I think so, yeah. That I don't think like there's. I don't think disappointment is something you'd associate with PK at United.
I get what you're saying. It's disappointing. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
No, straight away. Like I feel like I just don't believe that that's even close. Like as in when you think it in at United. Like if you think at PK at United, I don't think a feeling of disappointment is going to go through your body.
Yeah, but yeah, I agree with you. It's more looking at it, full picture.
What could have been is what you're thinking.
Yeah. And I was just thinking there, and look, obviously you've always been you're a more emotional man than me, which is good in some regards, not in others. But just on feeling a disappointment alone, just that like that thing that goes through your body, Heinz actually hits me harder than Rojo.
I'd accept that. If you want to put Heinz in instead of Rojo, I'd accept.
No, I don't, because I'm more, like I said, I think more at my brain, and Rojo wins for me over Heinz. So look, I'll combine the two feelings and we'll go with Marcus Rojo. Marcus Rojo. Okay.
And lad, again, I think when we compare the defensive position group to
the only thing, no, sorry, go on, finish your point.
I think when we compare the defensive position group to other position groups once we're done, I'm saying this without giving much thought to what it's going to look like. I don't think that defensive group is majorly disappointing.
I agree with you. You don't think that defensive group? Yeah, there's some solids. Yeah, it's harsh. It is harsh. Yeah. But there's also a compliment in being disappointing, in the fact that you have to have expectations to be disappointing.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Last quick point is the only thing about having Rojo in there at centre back is we both like Fabio a bit as well, but Fabio is going to make it if Rojo's in centre back.
I don't like Fabio. I don't dislike him, but I've absolutely I'll very soundly with Fabio being in that team.
All right, I think that was I think we made the right decisions there overall. And of course, as we go through this, we can adjust the formation if needs be. We should have done actually with all the names that have been thrown about the sub team as well. But anyway, left. Where do you want to start?
Yeah, if you want.
Yeah, it's all right. You can make note of it if you want. Starting in midfield, where do you want to start?
You can pick there. I'm just getting the sub team up and running.
Oh, where do we start in midfield? Okay, without being too specific on position, left. Well, I suppose it is left midfield. Jeez, we actually have a lot of names are going through my head now. Two names from more recent years that jump out to me straight away are Angel Di Maria and Depay.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
They're two names that come screaming at me straight away.
Can we get them both in?
We might. We'll see on the positions. Another player that comes screaming at me that, and again, this comes more from my affinity towards him and how good I want him to be, and how it just kind of after a couple of years, it just kind of tailed off from. We both loved him actually as Anderson in midfield. He had some great days for us. I remember particularly actually having a couple of great games against Arsenal, but Anderson would be. I just thought Anderson was going to take over the world. To be honest, I thought he was God's gift. But yeah, his candle just flickered brightly in a couple of games, and then just tailed off. Another candidate, which is very interesting from the, and it was. Look, I'm just being honest to myself. Owen Hargreaves deserves a mention in here. Considering what I wanted him to be.
What do you mean one of your fucking teams?
I mean, that was favourite team. I loved him.
I'd be mad if he was disappointing.
Because it just burned out so quickly. Owen Hargreaves in the middle of midfield. I'm trying to think of right midfielders. Anyone jump into your head straight away? I know you can play wingers on either side technically, but right midfielders, anyone jump into you?
No, not.
Or any central midfielders.
Yeah, for the central, and this is going to be interesting that you haven't said them, just because they were both hyped up. Kleberson came in with Ronaldo, and they were both. I bought that magazine. I think it was Shoot the name of the magazine. Do you remember that magazine? Shoot.
There was Shoot. There was Match. I don't know what you're on about.
No, it wasn't Matches for kids, but you probably read that. But
I loved Match.
I love Match too. But Shoot actually was, if you actually wanted to read something, Shoot was the other one, and I got the magazine Ronaldo and Kleberson, both being hyped up the same, which lad is actually magical to think about. They shared the magazine cover. Actually, you should try and get it up on screen. But Kleberson came in with Ronaldo being hyped up as our first Brazilian player, lad. First ever Brazilian for Man United. Could have been Ronaldinho, imagine that. And it was Kleberson instead. Kleberson was in the World Cup winning team in 2002. He came in, the season after he came, so 2002, 2003, yeah. So he came in the summer of 2003 after winning the World Cup with Brazil. First Brazilian at Man United, and he comes in with Ronaldo, and they share that magazine cover. So I would have him in ahead of Anderson in central midfield, because Anderson had a really good first season, and I don't think there was as much hype with Anderson coming in. He came in with Nani, and I don't remember there being as much hype about him until he started playing, and people were like, oh, look at this guy. And then the other guy, who was quoted as Roy Keane's deputy and replacement, Eric Jimba Jimba, he was hyped up when he came to the club. People thought he was going to be legit, and he didn't. So my central midfield would be Jimba Jimba and Kleberson.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. Honorable mention, Liam Miller, RIP. But he's not going to get in this team.
So when we discussed this earlier, I actually always associate them straight away. I thought that they'd be in my worst United 11 rather than my most disappointing. Now the argument you made for Kleberson is very fair. I actually don't. Again, now that you said it, I do remember it like that. But when I think of him in general, when I think of Kleberson, I don't remember the hype of him as much as I just remember Kleberson being shit. But like all those, they're fair points. Like that does definitely add to the expectations. Everything. Just personally for me, it doesn't like that. It's not a disappointment feeling that goes through me. Definitely a candidate, Kleberson. Other players that I'd have in, and more so than Anderson, is I actually thought of a couple, and they're debatable a bit. Well, look, I'll see what you're saying. They're just feelings of disappointment that go through me. So 3 kind of central ones, and I thought of a right midfielder as well. But the 3 central ones for me are so I'd have Shinji Kagawa would be one.
Fair.
Alan Smith would be one, and Juan Sebastian Veron. Now the strongest disappointment-wise out of them would be Shinji Kagawa. That's a disappointment feeling that goes through straight away. Smith is more so a logical one based on what I saw said about him in books and stuff, and that it just didn't really work out. But he still had some. He was a bit of a kind of had a cultish hero about him, kind of a bit for a while. So that's more of a logical one based on people's expectations of him when we bought him, rather than my feeling of disappointment towards him. And then Varane. Varane was in a team that had some brilliant players. I think it was just the expectation we bought him with as well. It was. I don't think he wouldn't be in my team, but he's more of a mention for me. There are 3 players centrally that came to my mind there. If you want to give your thoughts on them.
Kagawa is a very fair shout, lad. I'm just looking at.
And I have one more as well. Sorry.
Wait, go ahead.
My last one that I was really disappointed with, and this is a Varela one. He never really played for us. This was myself and Ben loved him, and I bought him every FIFA. Was Rodrigo Possebon, Brazilian midfielder. He was a youth fella. I had massive expectations for him, but he never came through.
Get out of here, like Possebon.
Yeah, Rodrigo Possebon. He was the first player actually that I thought of when we did this disappointment 11. Genuinely, 100%. But I respect that we'll debate this and he won't get in, but I had to bring him.
We're not even debating it, lad. We're going to.
Do you remember him?
I do remember him. Yeah, I never watched him playing or anything, but lad, come on. Kagawa, lad. Alan Smith was, even when he came to us, lad, he was a striker more so than a midfielder.
He was a centre forward, but we did play him in centre midfield as well.
And I don't look back at him with disappointment because he was good for us when he played, lad. That ginger fucker at Liverpool crippled him. So I don't have disappointment with regards to Alan Smith. Yeah. It's more of a PK feeling. Kagawa, lad. I agree. Kagawa was he was disappointing at United. Kagawa, Alan Smith. Who else did you say?
Varane. I know you're not going to agree with it, I don't think.
Everyone says he was disappointing. He won a Premier League with us. And he was disappointing in the large scale, but in terms of some of the other names, he's not getting in the team, in my opinion. So Kagawa and Kleberson would be my 2. Bajimba, probably because of you don't think he's going to get in that team, so I'll accept that. I think Kleberson has to. I sent you the link there, the picture.
Did you? On what?
Screen. It'll be really good just to see it. It's kind of nostalgic.
Can you send it to me on Facebook?
WhatsApp.
But can you send it to me on Facebook?
If I can remember my passwords.
Wait a second. Don't bother. I'll try to get it up on screen. Is there any other recent midfielders we're forgetting about? Oh, you mentioned the P word.
Oh, yeah, there is. Schweinsteiger.
Oh. Okay, straight away. Just was he too old?
I don't know. He was just bleh.
That's a good shout, Schweinsteiger, yeah.
Mkhitaryan too, lad, even though I don't know where you want to put him position-wise.
Oh, that's a great shout, Mkhitaryan. You play him on the wing, so he'll be in our contenders for wingers. Great shout, Mkhitaryan. So we'll keep him in the back burner a second. Focus on centre midfielders. Who'd you just say again?
Mkhitaryan, Schweinsteiger.
Mkhitaryan and Schweinsteiger. Schweinsteiger.
Well, lad, who has to get in is Zaha.
Zaha, Jesus, lad, we've a lot of wingers.
Zaha has to get in that team, lad. Now, to be fair, Depay and Di Maria are also.
Okay, we need to try and stay in on centre midfielders a second.
We didn't even do wingers, lad. We started on wingers.
No, we'll do centre midfielders now because we've said more centre midfielders. Right. I'm in centre midfielder mode. You mentioned the P word, lad. Did you want to say something on that, or were you just expecting me to say something?
The P word? Oh, yeah. Paul Pogba.
That it surprises me that you brought him up.
I just think there's a valid argument to be made. I don't think he's going to get in the team, but he has been disappointed. Like, that is someone now, if you do the name test, Pogba, Man United, what comes to your head? I think disappointment is a feeling.
I agree. I don't think he'll get in the team,
I don't think he will either.
but it's definitely an honourable mention. I can't get the photo up because I can only share one screen at a time. Okay, I'll be honest.
You can put it, but you have to put the photo up in a minute.
I have to put the photo up in a minute.
Just switch the screen, like, for a brief second once it's in.
Switch the screen at the screen. I have the photo, lad. It's about sharing the screen that's difficult. About changing the screen that you share.
Just put the photo on your screen and then share your screen.
Yeah, but you see, no, what's different about it? I'm not sharing my screen. I'm sharing a tab.
So open it up in a tab, the link.
But it's really hard to change the tab. I'm trying to find out how to do that now.
It's not that hard, no. Look, it doesn't matter, so it doesn't matter if it's difficult. You know what I'll do? I'll put it on my phone and just put it up to the camera.
Wait a second. I got it. I think.
How's that for a picture? Like, oh my god.
Do I have to write one? Let me know if this comes up here now. All our YouTube audience will see it. Yeah, there it is.
That the future is here, huh? Kleberson and Ronaldo on equal platforms.
That's damning evidence. That is damning evidence. Okay, so I'll be honest.
United magazine. Whoa, it wasn't shoot.
I'll go back to the team now. I'll the Chrome tab, D and team share. Sweet. Okay, so disappointment wise, Kagwa is definitely in there for me. He'd be actually when I combine the feeling of disappointment that shoots through me as well as just my expectations on him and everyone's expectations on him and how it just didn't work out. That's like a really kind of match made in heaven for me that he has to get in. Logically, Kleberson, after you putting forward your argument as well, makes the most sense. I just don't. It just because I just doesn't shoot through me as much, but I'd be happy to put him in.
For me, what you said there, I was like, as in, I was excited. It might have been I was a young kid. It might have easily been from that magazine, like reading it. I was so excited for Kleberson once they bought him. Probably after reading that magazine, so excited for Kleberson, the first Brazilian at Man United. That sentence, like the first Brazilian at Man United. So for me, Kleberson has to get in there. Like Schweinsteiger, I wasn't excited when they bought Schweinsteiger. Like I wasn't expecting.
It was probably a few years too late, so that's fair enough. There's one other player we mentioned as well that chat. Oh, McTarrell playing the wing. Yeah, Veron. Yeah, I'm happy to go with Kleberson and Kagwa in the midfield for now, unless we think of someone else when we're doing the wingers. You start going through the wingers there, lad. Start naming a few as I fill this in.
I'm of the opinion for the wingers, lad. Zaha has to get in on that right midfield. And then if I'm saying Zaha, lad, I'll leave you choose the pie.
I'm 100. We'll have to debate. We'll have to debate on Zaha, so we won't just do one for one yet. I think there's stronger contenders, or at least on the same footing. So I've got 4 straight away. Oh no, I've got another fella that you're not going to want at all. But just as I preface bringing his name up, I was really excited for him as well. If you're going to use that argument for Kleberson, Gabriel Obertan, right winger.
Lad, right, before we go into him, Zaha, just same feeling as Kleberson, lad. I remember watching a League Cup game before he came to Man United. It was when Palace were in the Championship. They knocked us out of the League Cup. Ferguson was there. Zaha scored a worldie. He was Ferguson's last Man United signing. Just, again, the same thing as Kleberson. I was excited for Zaha to be at Manchester United. Di Maria, I was excited for too. Not as much as Zaha. Depay, same thing as a lot of the others. Didn't have a lot of expectation. I know other people were big on him, and I knew he was this exciting talent, but just me personally didn't have a connection to is it Depay or Depay?
Depay.
Yeah, I didn't have a connection to him. So Di Maria and Zaha for me, ahead of Depay. Obertan, lad, like where was the excitement for Overton? Like, were you hyped when we signed him?
Yeah, super hyped.
Why?
FIFA and watching videos.
FIFA is FIFA a serious answer? Like,
Yeah, it is for me.
and
Why were you hyped for Kleberson?
Videos on Overton.
Yeah.
So is he seriously going into this debate now? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, he's not getting in the team, but go for
it. Also a player that we've stopped mentioning there that needs to be mentioned. Massive disappointment for me, and we can move him back. Yeah, Mkhitaryan. We can move him into the middle if needs be. Shit, I thought of one more there. Oh, sorry, lad. I thought of a goalkeeper came into my head, and I think he's a very strong candidate. You might say no. Do you want to flash back to him now?
No, go for it. Oh, you know what you're saying? Cusack.
Yeah. And lad, it feeds in as well because he played against us. It's when you said the signing thing. I knew there was one player that they played one unbelievable game against United, and we were at that game. I think he has to go in, lad.
Did he come on as a sub?
That actually rings a bell.
Yeah, I think he came on injured. Did someone get injured and he came on?
Did the keeper? Did they have 10 men?
I don't know, but I think he came on as a sub in that game.
I think he did as well. That literally made us sign him, though. He was unbelievable. He was unbelievable that game, and obviously we remember it so vividly as well because it was our first game. We were both at it randomly. I think because of that romance side of it, lad, he might have to get in ahead of Howard. Logically, it might make as much sense, but
yeah, no, I'll put I don't mind.
I don't know. Howard makes more sense though.
No, I think it was kind of harsh on Howard putting him in there. Like, I do think he was the right candidate up until you said Cusack, because when Van der Sar wasn't at the club he was at the club during that game. He just didn't play, did he? Was Van der Sar at the club when we played West Brom? That was Roy Keane's last full season. I don't think he was.
My 10th birthday was 2005, I think.
Tim Howard and Roy Carroll. So I don't think Van der Sar was at the club.
Yeah, so was Kushkak meant to be he was meant to be the guy, wasn't he?
I don't think he was meant to be the guy, but there was... When did we buy Kushak? We have to check that. Let's see. Yeah, check it.
I'll change that to Kushkak, so.
He came in the same season as Van der Sar. Oh no, Van der Sar was at the club already when Kushak came, so that matters. That does matter.
Kushkak did get a shot. Kushkak did get a shot at the job, didn't he? When Van der Sar left,
he did. Was he at the club when Van der Sar left? It was Lindegaard and De Gea.
I thought there was a period. Maybe not. Okay, all right. If so, we leave it at Howard. So staying on midfielders, I was being 100% honest with Overton, lad. The Feeney disappointment was really real for me, but with the other quality of players we've there, I'll just remove him from the debate now.
If you want to put him, well, he's still not getting into the team, but since I care for you as a human.
No, it's fine. No, lad, Depay has to get in for me.
I have Di Maria ahead of Depay.
I think so.
I think Depay ahead of Di Maria, I'll accept it, but Zaha has to get in.
Your Zaha feeling is my Depay feeling, lad.
Zaha in just blanket statements like last signing of Ferguson era, knocked us out of the League Cup with a worldie. Just for me, that I was so excited for Zaha.
True, I know you were. He didn't play that much though, lad.
Yeah, I know, because he banged Moisey's daughter.
But again, that's the thing. That's an outside football thing.
Yeah, no, but it's still you look back at Zaha with disappointment.
I don't, not like you do.
You don't look back. So when you think of Zaha United, you don't look at it with disappointment.
I know there's a feeling it's a similar to PK thing, as in I'm disappointed it didn't work out, but it's not a fucking shoot.
No, because PK was there again. I didn't know anything about PK when he was at United. there was no level of hype around Piqué. It's the what could have been. Oh, he went to Barcelona. He turned out to be this world class player. Zaha was he was a hot prospect.
Yeah, he was a hot prospect. Yeah. I think Di Maria, even though I think for both of us he's less of a probably less of an emotional thing. Like my strongest emotional one genuinely is Depay, and then it's Di Maria second. And I would think for you it's lad Mkhitaryan as well, but I think Mkhitaryan could be a fucking contender for Kagwa if you want to move him into the middle, but Kagwa would still win for me, so I don't know if there's a point debating that.
My thing with Mkhitaryan is I think he gets a raw deal because he also had a lot of good performances for us.
True. A lot of these players did.
He fell victim to Mourinho.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Now I do agree he was a disappointment, but I don't look at him as a high disappointment in terms of the others.
I agree. But I do think he definitely needs to be mentioned. All right, we'll put the Bayern Zaha in.
Come on.
Start with strikers there.
Sorry, strikers. Okay, let's think about this. So, Manucho, Bebe, De Rossi, Makeda. They're the lesser names who never turned into something. Now, do I want to drag any of the bigger ones into it? Okay, Falco has to get in, I suppose.
Yeah, Falco, strong contender.
Falco, has to get in. I'm trying to think of any more. I do Falco, Makeda. I feel there's probably more names I'm forgetting there, but Falco, Makeda.
What? Falco and Makeda. What were the names you said again? Bebe, Falco, or Bebe at the start?
Bebe, Manucho. The
Manucho
Rossi
was, but he just didn't do enough. Rossi is technically, but it doesn't shoot through me.
Larson on a loan.
Larson was a loan, yeah. Short loan only. Forlan, I suppose, from the early days.
Oh fuck, Falco and Forlan. That's the one. That's the one for me. That.
Anyone recent I'm forgetting? Lukaku got loads of goals. Falco, Forlan. Bebe was a big disappointment for me. But no, he wasn't good. He came from fucking homeless World Cup, so he's not getting in. Who's the player you had in before Forlan? Makeda. Yeah, there's a shoot there, all right. But it just doesn't make as logical sense, I think, as Falco and Forlan. I feel like there's one name I'm forgetting. Michael Owen did his thing. Any youth fellas come through? Didn't work out.
Wilson fella.
That Wilson fella, yeah, had a little spurt. But again, these aren't real. Yeah, they're not going to break in, but they're worthy mentions. Forlan, Rashford. No, I'm. That is a double F as well. I like that. Falco, Forlan. I'm going to fill them in. Radamel Falcao was an absolute. That broke my heart. I was in love with him. That really breaks my heart. I have a jersey, my blue United jersey, that away jersey from that year has Falco on the back of it. My mother got me that straight away when he joined. Forlan. Diego Forlan, again, at the start of my time, I don't remember everything too well, and he went on as well and had a great career at Atletico Madrid, so that's frustrating too.
Lad, my best memory of Diego Forlan is UEFA Champions League third round qualifier. We were trashing, I think it was Maccabi Haifa or Panathinaikos, some team with a green jersey. We were trashing him like 6-0. We won the game like 6-0. We were up probably like 4 or 5-0, and we got a penalty. And Forlan went up to take it because he was like either looking for his first goal or he hadn't scored in ages. And Roy Keane came up and took the ball off him and gave it to Ruud van Nistelrooy.
I actually don't remember that. That's crazy. Lad, there is a player from another player that to think of for the striker position. Oh Jesus, I missed. No, I loved him as well. Okay, we're after missing 2 wingers. That we'll mention now after our fucking debate over wingers. Will be interesting. But a striker to mention first is Danny Welbeck. Again, he's not going to get in, but he came first on the scene. I think he got a great goal. I think that was on his debut. Actually, he got that goal. And we expected big things from him as a club. I think more so than it wasn't a more personal thing. And his career's fizzled a bit. So he seemed like a cool guy as well. So and like that, I think he deserves a mention if we're going to mention Wilson. Not getting ahead of 2 lads. 2 wingers. So one for me, I don't think you had the affinity for him that I had, so I don't think I'm going to argue his way in. But Adnan Januzaj burst on the scene for a year and was really hot and cold under Moyes' first season. He was like his golden child, and I thought he'd go on and be class. I loved him. He was so different. I think he got 2 goals from you. Beat Sunderland 2-1, I think, or maybe he set up one and got one. I remember that game so well on Sky. I thought he was going to be brilliant. So I think he should have been involved in the winger debate. He only had a year though. Well, a lot of the wingers actually only had a year. And then the other player who is shocking that we forgot about is Alexis Sanchez.
Yeah. I'd have Sanchez. Lad, again, Sanchez for me, lad, I did not want to buy him. I thought he was past it. I wasn't excited about him. But I'd actually nearly have Januzaj in ahead of the pie. I'd have Di Maria ahead of all of them, but Januzaj, yes, ahead of the pie. Sanchez, his legs were gone when we bought him. I just don't know why we bought him. So it was disappointing that we bought him. I think he was already in a bad stage of his career.
That's a fair argument. I think you're so staunch in Zaha, we're not going to debate this fairly, so I'd say we'll leave it as it is, but they're both worth the mention.
Zaha has to be in. If you want to switch the pie out for any of them, I'll allow it.
If you want to switch Zaha out for any of them, I'll allow it as well.
I don't want
yeah.
You don't want to switch the pie out for any of them.
The pie out for any of them.
That's what I'm saying.
No, I don't. Yeah, I suppose that's the personal side of it. I think Di Maria's getting away with murder here. I think we can both agree that.
I absolutely agree with that.
And I'd say for some, Sanchez is more kind of a public one as well, rather than he definitely deserves a mention in this team. But Januzaj for me is definitely a personal shoot of disappointment.
Di Maria had just won the Champions League at Madrid before he came to us, hadn't he?
Yeah.
I just don't like. Why is the pie ahead of him again?
Because the pie came for FTV as well, and big expectations. A hefty fee as well, and came with big expectations. Young hot prospect like Zaha, and since has been unbelievable at Lyon. So like there was something there, and he couldn't get it going with us. I thought he was going to be unreal, and he had he'd done so well under Van Gaal at the Euros. for Holland. Like, so I thought he was going to come in and just be unbelievable for us in the left wing. But yeah, like I said, it'd be one for me, and two would be Di Maria. And you're obviously the same with Zaha. Zaha's one for you, and two for Di Maria. So I think it's fair to say Di Maria he's just getting away with it. He's a lucky boy, and he's gone to PSG. Look, he's getting his money, so he's just a lucky person in general. Let me get that team up full screen. So we're going with I changed Howard back. So we're going with Tim Howard in goal, Fabio left back, Rojo left centre back, Phil Jones right centre back, Mario Darmian right back, right winger Wilfred Zaha, centre midfielders partnership of Kleberson and Kagawa, left winger Depay, and
That
then
I know about I feel like we could get a. I feel like there's someone more. Like if we take positions out of it, like Kagawa to me is less disappointing than Di Maria, Januzaj, Makeda.
I agree. What
If
you
we
could
to a 4-3-3, like I think we could make our 4-3-1-2. Have someone playing behind the lads. Then you could maybe Depay can play there and put Di Maria on the left wing.
Di Maria played centre midfield a bit, lad.
Like behind the striker's actual centre.
No, he played centre midfield
For PSG.
He played it for us as well, and for Real Madrid. He played there sometimes.
I don't remember that, but I'll take your word for it.
I'd be okay if you want to put Di Maria in centre midfield instead of Kagawa.
I don't think I'd have him centre midfield, though. I think I'd have him behind the strikers.
I think he was more boxed. Lad, am I remembering that correctly? Let me look it up. Di Maria.
And no, I'd have Depay behind the strikers and Di Maria on the left. I only really remember Di Maria operating on the wing, like.
Angel Di Maria, what is his best position? Jesus, lad, we paid £60 million for Di Maria as well.
How much do we pay for Depay?
Will you look that up here? I'm just trying to read it. Something on centre midfielder. Some of his teammates. Yeah. In here it says United in this article, he said Van Gaal deployed him in centre midfield on the left and in the hole behind up front. Games played. What is Di Maria's best position? Left midfield, attack midfield, striker, centre midfield.
Lad, one story there from the Daily Express yesterday. This is actually beautifully fitting. Man United may turn to Memphis Depay or Wilfred Zaha because of Sancho difficulty.
That is fitting, lad. That is very fitting, actually. What Depay came for?
25 million.
Pound or euro?
Pound.
What did Zaha come for?
Zaha. It was 50.
Midfielder, give me more than that.
Oh no, fuck. It was 15.
Were you serious about 50?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were joking. No, I knew it was less than 20. Yeah, Di Maria, lad, he's looking at profiles on him. It says left midfield, attacking midfield.
Depay can play attacking midfield too, can't he?
Depay, yeah, I suppose they can all play everywhere. Zaha played striker a lot last year for Crystal Palace.
Yeah, so I guess either of the three.
I'm going to move Kleberson to right centre midfield, and I'll put Di Maria in left centre midfield.
We can do it, but I just do not consider Di Maria a midfielder.
It's your call. You can leave it. We can leave it as is and leave Di Maria out, or we can put him in.
But we can put him in and move him up, or move one of the lads up.
If we move him up, as I suppose it's how realistic do you want this formation to be? If we move him up,
like Kleberson can anchor that midfield.
Kleberson anchor the midfield. We'll have the two boys playing up front, Di Maria playing in the hole, and we'll also have the two lads playing on the wing.
Yeah.
All right. We've the rock solid Phil Jones and Rojo behind them anyway. So, boom, boom, boom. Let me change this formation here if I can get to it.
Whoa.
4, 2, 3. No. 4, 1. Will Bill lineup have it? That's the question.
You can drag and drop anyway.
Can you?
Yeah.
Oh, come on, sure. That really helps me. Come on. All right. I'm glad Di Maria's getting in. Forlan, Falco being the main man. Zaha out the wing. Di Maria. Can you see that? How's that looking?
Yeah.
Fabio bombing on. All right. There it is. So I'll go from the start again. Final team. Tim Howard in goal, beating out Thomas Kuszczak. Right back, Matteo Darmian, beating out Guillermo Varela. Two centre backs, Marcus Rojo and Phil Jones. Left back, Fabio, beating out Gabriel Heinze. Then anchoring the midfield, the Brazilian wonder kid, Kleberson. Playing ahead of him, operating as an attacking midfielder and in the hole, making stuff happen is Angel Di Maria. Out in the left, you got the pie. Out in the right, Wolf Zaha. And then up front, you got Diego Forlan and Radamel Falcao as our most disappointing United 11. Yeah, I'm happy with that. It's a good team. Kagawa just missing out as well. Mkhitaryan didn't make it in. Look, there's been some very disappointing players. It's a great club. People are going to fall short. But thanks to everyone who's ever played for us, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm thinking. No, could we do could we do a 4-1-3-1-1 and take Forlan out and put Kagawa in? No, I think.
No, I'm happy with that, lad. Yeah, I think so.
Okay, yeah, let's keep Forlan in.
Kagawa escapes with his life. That's the final team.
Did you see those Japanese rugby players in the World Cup, Jack?
I did, yeah, they're good players.
Lead of foot, man. No wonder you can
play. Any closing points?
Yeah, it's funny. Like what was it? 2000 and the summer of 2003. Kleberson is coming to Man United. He's on the cover of United magazine, being portrayed as the great Brazilian hope. And 17 years later, nearly, he's on William and Jack's Man United podcast in the most disappointing 11 of all time. So just bears in mind, Jack, where we'll be in 17 years, doesn't it?
It'll be interesting to see.
Spotify's highest podcast earners.
Yeah, probably won't be playing midfield for United.
Probably not, no.
All right, good stuff. Until next week, signing off. Thanks for listening.
Thank you to StreamYard as well, our brilliant video provider. And just a reminder, lads, we know we have a Twitter account, so follow us on Twitter at EOT Podcast, and drop us a like and subscription on the YouTube page. Thank you.
See ya.